I would love to zip those two together.
Wow, if you've already done it, how did you do that? Just before you tell me how you already did it, tell me they both have an important role in your life.
They do.
Tell me what, I'm gonna start the hippie first if I may.
Yeah.
So could you come out here so I can do it? You even got the moves, I'm impressed, okay. So I want to speak only to the hippie in you, Josh, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So just walk right there, and when you rise in that spot, be the hippie completely, in your body, in your heart, your feelings, emotions. You not when you're there. So am I standing to the hippie right now?
Yeah.
Great.
And nervous hippie.
Nervous hippie. Well, I'm Tony, nice to meet you, nervous hippie.
Tony, great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you for sharing with us. I know you play a huge and important role in Josh's life. And if you're that big a part of him, you are trying to provide certain things for him that are very important. And I'm wondering if you'd be willing to share with us what's your purpose in Josh's life? What are you trying to create for him? And I like the hippie to answer, not your head, just the first response from the hippie.
I'm trying to show him what really matters.
Yes.
And that he's actually already living his dream life. The things that that really matter to him, family, love, togetherness, nature, have nothing to do with entrepreneurship or wealth or the things he seems to be so consumed with for the last couple of decades.
Yes.
We don't need that money. We don't need any of the things that he's so stressed about. We would be happy living in a trailer in a desert, and that's all we really need. And he knows that his wife would be right there with him. She thrifts. She doesn't need any of the things he's been fighting for.
I see. So those are really valuable things for him to know, because what you're really trying to do is bring him back to basically his soul and spirit, and make sure that he doesn't let the external world control him or pull him in a way that takes him away what matters most. Is that what you're trying to do?
That's it.
Great. I think that's incredibly important and valuable. And I think the role you're playing is really important. I'd love if you'd allow me to talk to the entrepreneur as well, because I'd love to see if there's a bridge. Because the entrepreneur is driven as well, and I happen to have both feelings inside myself, because I'm the guy that cries at the drop of a hat and lifts open the building. So I can relate to Josh in some ways. I have the part of me that's so happy I don't have to do a damn thing in my life ever again, but another part of me that has to find a way to serve. And I think the hippie in you also wants service.
Absolutely.
Yes, you left that part out. I think out of your protection of Josh, you're really trying to protect him from what you think will hurt him and hurt his family. You may be leaving out another set of qualities that are important to his spirit. And you may be making judgments, which I've done, about how that's being done. Like if money's involved, if it's money and activity of that nature, I didn't see a spiritual and hippie part of myself. But you know, I got to the point where there were so many frustrations.
Good morning. It's the last live of the work week. So we're getting at it one more time. Today we're working pushing movements, specifically targeting the chest, the right side of the chest with the atrophy issues that I have. We're here to talk about gym advice, life advice, anything you guys want to talk about. Be sure while you're in here you hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. We're at 558 subscribers. Trying to get to 1,000 by the end of August, and quite confident that by this time next week we'll hit 1 million views, which is kind of a cool little
Absolutely.
landmark. So again, as you're on, hit the like button, subscribe. Feel free to throw anything in the chat that you want to. We'll talk about it between sets. We'll get started with just some regular push-ups.
But if you throw your weight around too much, it's that experience, if I may do this with you, where you push and even hippie Josh pushed back. I didn't say to push back, but imagine, we won't do it, but imagine we're pushing that arm in our faces as close as we can to each other and somebody slips. That's what happens if we overstate. So the beautiful hippie Josh that you've got is you're grabbing the most important things, but you're leaving out something that you value, which is contribution on a significant scale. And perhaps sometimes we've seen people use money and things as power to take advantage of others. The hippie part of me has seen this. And I'm never gonna do that, and decided for a long time, I just don't have any money. I also didn't want the judgment from my friends. But after a while, I thought, am I really that limited? After a while, I thought, if I could be more loving, should I? Yes. Smarter, should I? Yes. Better, should I? Yes. More financially abundant? Or how could I say no to that if I'm a creature of God and He's given me the gift of creator? And especially if I use that creation not just to serve myself, and not even just my family, but mass numbers of other people. And so I began to realize that there could be a merger in entrepreneurial terms.
Yes.
Between the hippie and me, which really is just a part of me that has nothing but love that just wants to serve. And the part that wants to get home so that all the choices that my family wants to have, that I'd like to have, and quite frankly, so that whatever God has given me gets maximized, because it's more challenging than just me enjoying myself by myself. I consider it nothing. I don't have to do any of this. I go
We got Brick King jumping on. Translation I don't think came out right. It said you wrote the word shall, but then you said hi. What's that? No? Yo? Okay, apparently it comes out as yo for somebody else. And then you got some emojis, but you can't tell what those are. Getting too old. Eyesight's getting bad. But hey man, good to see you on here. Thanks for jumping on. Right now what we're doing is we're working some pushing exercises, pushing movements, specifically targeting the chest, the right side, the atrophied side of my chest from my neck injury. I'm trying to rebuild that. Brick King says he's subscribed. Thanks, Brick King. Appreciate that. Hit the like button while you're in here. You guys are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of August. We're almost about to cross the 1 million viewer threshold, so that's cool. Just hit push-ups. Now we're going to move on to some band work, some flies from different angle points. We're going to get that started. Keep the comments coming, and then we'll chat between my sets.
It's easy to generalize the story and elite. Someone who is an entrepreneur is just in it for themselves, or they're just in it for self-realization. The most successful ones I know in the world have Hey everybody, it's Tony Robbins. Listen, I spent the last 43 years now working with people all over the world, 100 countries to show how to do.
It feels a little bit like the first I've met with driven people with high expectations. How can people who are always very hard on themselves learn to build up their self-esteem a little bit more?
I don't know if self-esteem is the answer. You know, I don't think it's better than yourself. As long as you also celebrate when victories happen. You know, so many people will tell you, I have poor self-esteem because when I was a kid, people said this to me and that to me. It's convenient, but you remember those things and let the positive things also occur, obviously. But I think it's more important is to realize that self-esteem is earned. It's only earned by you with yourself. Whenever I get self-esteem, because everybody praises you. You need somebody to your life that you're brilliant, you're genius, you're beautiful, you're handsome, and you not believe it. Someone can tell you you're coming together, you're a piece of crap, and you're never going to become anything, and there's a part of you say, I'll show you, as many people have, and then they don't lie about it, right? So it's really, self-esteem comes from doing incredibly difficult things when you know you
All right.
yourself. It's not virtue.
Brick King's asking how many subs do we have?
You know it's like your soul.
Well, including you now, we have 559.
That are incredible.
So thank you for that. We've been growing somewhere between 30 to 60 subscribers a month. So we're thinking that we're probably going to hit that threshold of 1,000 probably before August. But we'll see. Rick King says, yeah, you hit the moves. Nice muscles. I appreciate that. Thank you. We're working on it for a while. Broke my neck back in November. Had some atrophy issues, so I'm trying to rebuild those. Tell us about yourself, Rick King. Where are you from? What do you do? Are you a gym rat? Are you a gym goer? Are you a dad? Are you a husband? You're in India, okay. You're probably the third or fourth guy from India that's been jumping on you. That's cool.
What's my idea? If I can give them their completely. Some people it's 3 beautiful children. I like big effects. Some people it's building a business. Somebody else is writing poetry. Right? So instead of looking for somebody else, it's like, okay, what do you really want for your life? And aligning yourself with moving forward towards what you really want. And I think if you can do that in a way that also you feel served others simultaneously, there's a sense of meaning in life that can't be replaced by self-esteem or praise or compliments or being nice with yourself. And I don't think it's bad to be tough on yourself. I'm tough on myself, to be honest with you. But I'm much better at celebrating now. And I also realize being overly tough on yourself usually comes by making, comparisons that don't make sense. I remember I was just walking by, I saw, was I walking here, a picture reminding me of something, which was years ago, I was in Atlanta, Georgia. I was in my early 20s, 23, 24, 25. I was doing a seminar. In those days, there weren't 15, 20,000 people. It was 125 people. I remember because it was the biggest seminar I'd done. I was so excited. And I give my heart and soul, and from 12 or 13 hours a day. On the third day, the room was so small that I go by and look at everybody's eyes. I gave everybody a flower. It was just, everybody got things silly, but it was really just, I wanted to make that connection. I want to make sure that they made that shift. I was like so obsessive about making a true transformation happen. And earlier the other day, I got a phone call from a friend of mine who said, "Boss, Bruce Springsteen, he's the biggest star in the world in those days. I love him. And he's right. He's at the Atlanta Stadium there.
Give me just one sec. So what I'm doing here is, you'll probably notice I'm hitting the fly from both sides, starting off, and then I transition just to the right side. Reason for that is because I do have the atrophy issues on the right side with my neck injury. And so I'm trying to contract both sides of the chest, and then after I'm done contracting both sides, I want to target the right side a little bit more, because that's where the atrophy's at. Try to help it stimulate some growth and get some better contraction. Rick King says, no, I sleep. And he said, oh, interesting. So you don't like the gym, you like to sleep instead. I get that. It can be kind of an interruption to rest, I guess you could.
I'm so into it, and about 3/4
Have to get up and work out and keep that routine. It's not for everybody. What we do here, Pouring This Live, is we talk gym advice, we talk life advice. I've been going to the gym for 25-something years. Been a dad for almost 19 now. Been a husband for quite some time. The wife over there in the corner, she is not feeling it today. She's a little cranky. Yeah, Brick King says don't push it too much. Yeah, I agree. It's been 6 months since my injury, so I'm only doing what the physical therapist says is safe to do. So yeah, I appreciate that. Appreciate that advice. You guys, when you jump in here, if you're new, you haven't come through yet, be sure you hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Help us out with those two things. We go to the channel. Hit that set.
And I just like, it was humorous. You have to look back and say, you judge yourself too soon. I can tell you a dozen stories like that with me. But I was so hard on myself. But eventually, you wake up and say, you got to be strong with yourself. But beating yourself up just lowers your energy. When the energy gets lower, you don't have stress. Right? You don't have the same level of joy. You don't have the impact that you want to have, nor you have the excitement that you really want to have. So I look at it as something that it's worth earning your own self-esteem. That's really not the secret. The secret is find something else you obsess about more than yourself. And you'll have a level of energy that will compel you over the long term.
It's that tension, this interesting tension between balancing ambition and gratitude.
Yeah.
And you know, this fear that what if I pat myself on the back too much? Right. What if that starts to drive? And it's coming from this place of fear, this fear of not being enough, this fear of failure. I'm going to continue to disprove it. I don't want to let up because that's the only fuel that I know.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm going to see back a few weeks. I have a little perspective of it. It doesn't mean it's the right perspective. But I think when I began, I had with a fuel, which was a show of mine. You know, I had 4 fathers growing up. Progressive background. My mom was a very intense character. A huge part of the way I love her.
All right.
So strong.
Brick King says, see you later, dude. Hope you reach 1,000 subs soon. Thanks, Brick King. Appreciate it. Thanks for jumping on. Take care of yourself. We do this Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday, every single time. So come visit some other time, okay? Good to see you. Thanks for jumping on. You guys are new. You're just not jumping on. Be sure you hit the like button. Help us grow the channel. Like Brick King just mentioned, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of August. That's kind of our end of summer goal. We're at 559 now. Brick King, just see you, Brick King. Take care. Just subscribe. You put us at 559. Thank you. We're continuing to work. Getting a lot of different, a lot more interaction on our channel, which is really great. Here in the next week or so, if not by this weekend, we'll have crossed the threshold of 1 million views, which is pretty neat. You know, I think 1 million people have stopped in for a period of time and have been interested in the content that we throw out, whether it's through the lives or through our shorts or our long form videos. It's pretty neat, pretty cool. Appreciate that support. But when you guys are jumping in here, hit the like button. Help drive more attention to the channel. Be sure to subscribe as we try to get to that 1,000 subscriber threshold. And then feel free to leave the comments here in the chat in between sets. I'll comment. What we're talking about is real life. We're talking about gym advice, life advice, being a dad, being a husband, being a professional, having a work ethic, having character, integrity, all of those things. All right. Rick King says, okay, I have 12 subs. I'm only 12 years old, bro. Sorry, I think I'm an old man. Old man, to be precise. I didn't know how old you were, but that's cool too, man. I'm just glad you're on. Appreciate you. All right, let's hit some more sets.
I think that's a balance a lot of people are trying to play with as well. They like taking seriously. They go, right? It's not just necessarily the bravery to take your emotions seriously. And disconnect something the fun and the play out for so you want to be treated like a serious person, like an operator, like someone that's here to actually do things and events in the world. People realize after a while that if you're doing it so tightly, it creates a sort of ripple fragility around whatever you're doing. And when you look back, you have this series of miserable successes that you kind of breaking your teeth through. And you go, well, okay, I got the outcome that I wanted, but really what's the outcome I'm trying to achieve? Well, it's an enjoyable emotional state. What I'm trying to do is feel good in the moment as myself. I'm sitting here, winning.
All right.
Achieving the thing, financial freedom, the business, all of that stuff is a reliable route to getting that. But there's a little more direct route, which is to enjoy the thing. So there isn't.
Okay, so what we're working on right now is essentially a circuit, starting off with push-ups, and then moving to 3 different band fly variations. We start with a high to low band fly, then standard standing band fly, and low to high. Helps us work the 3 parts of the chest. That's the goal. And then you'll see some focused work on the right side, which is where I've had the atrophy issues from my injury. You all right?
I've been working out like crazy for time. I suppress my oxygen. You saw what I do. It's just ridiculous. I know that, right? have to be. I gotta go on stage and do 12 to 13 hours and hold 13, 14, 15, 20,000 people's attention for 4 days. Right? When they won't sit for a 3-hour movie, somebody spent $300 million on it, you know? It takes a level of energy. I'm not just standing there talking, I'm running up the side doing these things. So I said, hey, I don't want to give up any of that. I need that power to be able to produce. But I said, I want to have fun. He says, what does that look like? And I said, well, I don't know. I think, you know, when I was a kid, I used to play racquetball. I said, anybody broke it instead of just running. They like, you know, do something that's fun. You know, that's great, let's do it. So we called them, no racquetball anywhere, but squash. Do you play squash? Yep. Yeah, so you can appreciate squash is awesome. And it's more strategic and how a lot better exercise than, you know, racquetball is. So I got through like squash and it was like, wow, I added a whole other dimension. And that led to, at this stage where I go someplace, I'm going to be kind, which I want to be. You know, it's not a 20-minute drive, 20-minute back, it's 20 minutes, you know, moving out. I'm sure you know pictures and just connecting with people and taking care of them. And so, man, I don't have time for this. So that's how this happened down here. It's like, I just had to do this practical for something or so I squash about that. That's what I did. So it's like, yeah, I can't guys
All right. I see Alberto jumping in. What's up, man? Good to see you again. Per the usual, Alberto's hitting me with a peace kiddo and then a bunch of emojis. That's funny. Alberto, how old are you, man? Where are you from? You always drop in just real quick, say hello, hit the like button. Thank you for that, by the way. But you've become this mysterious regular on my lives. I'm curious about you. Where are you from?
So it leads to a place of fun. We're sitting in the place of fun. We've got 7,000 square feet below the surface. No one knows it's here. Well, the one we built like a submarine around the outside of this. And so we've got squash courts and like bowling alley and all of a sudden my kids and my grandkids and it's the play area. So I think it's also important to have environments that call out the play. And environments that are convenient to call out the play. You can live by the ocean, and just live on the hill in Del Mar, California. Almost everyone's a beach except for the friends hang on taking that. When you live on the beach, I'm on the beach every day. You know, it's there. So it's like you engineer your life to have more happiness. And I think the real challenge is thinking so hardly about being taken seriously just represents your fears. Right? It's like I think spiritual development, when people talk about spiritual, not religious development, spiritual development is the level of comfort you can have with just being your real self. And I think that's not an easy task. We're all trying to be something, but we already are something we're trying to be. That doesn't mean you can't be better, but it's like accepting and appreciating what you really are, and instead of projecting something else. It takes a lot of pain in your body. It takes a lot of wasted energy out. It gets a lot of fear to just disappear. And I don't have an easy path for that. I think it's the journey. You know, what is it? Your life is ordinary and everything seems fine, and then something hits you, and what's the call to adventure? It doesn't feel like a call. It feels like somebody in your family's got cancer. It feels like, COVID, somebody shut down your business, or, some issue that's happening in a relationship with your kids. But if you take the call and you go on the journey, you're going to meet some new friends, you're going to find some new mentors, you're going to...
You guys, thanks for jumping on.
With internal things, with
Talking
external things.
gym advice, life advice.
If you keep going, you're going to eventually
Keep the comments coming. We'll talk between sets.
You have something to share.
Don't forget to
It's
like.
bullshit. It's not something you read somewhere. It's something you live.
Subscribe.
And everybody can
We're at
feel you
5:59,
live it,
trying to
because
get
it's
to
a
1,000.
different
Help us
level
out.
of ownership, And then, by the way, as soon as you do that, it happens again. You're called on another journey. You have a new level of challenge that you need to go on. It never ends, but it makes life really, really beautiful.
One of the things that I've been hearing you talk about a lot recently that seems to tie into this is the difference in life between when you focus on things that are wrong and when you focus on things that are right. And I think a lot of people have managed to achieve quite a bit of success by avoiding pitfalls. You present them with something that can say, well, that's wrong and that's going to be an issue and we need to make sure that that's sorted there. But as you said, the things that you focus on seem to appear more frequently in your life. And if you've justified to yourself and if you've built up this...
How do I earn more money on my money?
Well, I don't know, right?
With SoFi checking and savings, you can score one of the best APYs in the league.
It doesn't miss.
And you get your paycheck up to 2 days early.
Ball don't lie.
Ball don't lie.
Join the official bank of the NBA to score an epic APY and a welcome bonus up to $400. SoFi, get your money right.
This stack of evidence that it's useful for me to focus on where potential pitfalls may be and make sure that I can avoid them. But I don't want to do it in my personal life. So you don't.
All right, so now we've done 2 sets of that circuit, starting with push-ups, and then moving on to 3 variations of band flies.
I'm so grateful to have her. She's so wonderful.
We're just doing body weight push-ups, no extra weight. You can always add that if you want to. And we're doing band push-ups using a 50-pound resistant band. I'd like to get to the point where I can do cable flies. I don't have the right equipment for that, unfortunately, but I would like to get to that at some point. Can't bring myself to spend $2 or $3 grand on a machine that gives me both sides like that. Maybe one day, we'll see. So for now, we're just going to use the bands. It's not quite the same as the cables because there's not constant tension, but it is still effective, and it'll help me for my my recovery process. Following my neck injury back in November, we were just now jumping on. Broke my neck back in November. Crushed one of the nerves during that, which turned off the firing for my right pec and the firing for my right tricep. So those muscles got smaller, atrophied, and I'm working on building those back up. If you're on, thank you for jumping on the live. Appreciate your support. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of August. We're at 559 as of this morning. We're about to cross the threshold of 1 million views, which is cool. A lot of people, even if it's only been for a second, jumping in, seeing our content. It's cool to know that we've got that many people who've crossed paths with our content at some point. And then keep the comments here flowing. Put them in the comment section here between the sets. I'll respond. Thanks everyone. Let's do another set.
We wouldn't starve. We had saltine crackers and peanut butter, right? But when everybody else around me was big Thanksgiving dinner, and it's pretty depressing. And my mom and dad were saying things to each other that once you say them, you can't take them back. And I have a younger brother, 5 years younger, and a younger sister, 7 years younger, so I felt like a parent almost. I'm trying to protect them. I'm only 11 years old. And what changed my life is this bang on the door. I go to open the door, and there's this guy, big guy with groceries in both hands, and he had a pot on the ground and an uncooked turkey. And he looks at me and says, "Is your father here?" And I'm like, just one moment. I was like, this to me was like, this, right? This is the greatest thing. It's going to stop the fighting. It's going to be incredible. I go to my father and I say, Dad, we're slamming the door for you. Yelling at my mom through the closed door, and she slammed it. And he goes, "You answer." I said, "I did. It's for you. It's for this." And I said, "I don't know." They said, "They got to talk to you, right?" And I have this level of excitement, like little boy excitement, like this is going to be the greatest thing. And my dad opens the door, and I'll never look on his face. He got angry. It shocked me. And he said to me, "We don't accept charity." Before he even said anything. And he went to slam the door, and the guy had leaned in slightly, so he hit his shoulder, and it bounced off of him, which made my dad matter. And then he said, he goes, sir, I'm just a delivery guy. Somebody knows you're having a tough time. Everyone has a tough time, and they just want you to have a great Thanksgiving with your family. My father says, "We don't accept charity." He goes to slam it again. But I think because he leaned in, his foot came in that night. He hit his foot, the ground foot again. It's just like, now I got fear runs in my body because I know my father, right? And my father looks at it, and the guy looks at it and says something. I thought I was going to punch him in the face. He didn't do it mean. He was had a softness in his face, and he said, "Sir," he saw me, and he said, "Don't make your family suffer because of your ego." And the veins of my father, the side of his neck were like this. He's bleeding red. I thought for sure he was going to punch the guy. And then all of a sudden his shoulders dropped, like defeated. Took the groceries, slammed them on the ground, slammed the door, didn't do the turkey, and didn't say thank you or anything. And shortly after that, he left our family, which to me at the time was the worst experience of my life, I thought. And so I was kind of obsessed with trying to figure out why. And I didn't figure it out for a couple of years. I had versions of it in my head, but I use it in my life every day. So I submit it to your viewers as well. These are the 3 decisions that I think everyone makes every moment. First, you're doing it right now. What are you going to focus on? You're going to be focusing on the story I'm telling you. You're going to be focusing on the question you're going to ask. You're going to be focusing on how your stomach feels if you've not eaten. There's a million things you can focus on, literally. But we don't experience life, we experience the proper life we focus
All
on.
right, you guys jumping in, appreciate it. Hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of August. And hit the like button too. I want to close out this live. We're going to be going for about another 30 minutes. But while we're here, we want to close out the live with at least 10 likes on the live. So we're at 5. We're halfway there. Help us out with another like. We're here to talk about gym advice, life advice. If you guys are watching, I'm curious. It's kind of your background. Are you an avid lifter? Experience? Are you someone who's just now starting to try to get into it? You're trying to feel comfortable? If you are, you're in the right place. This is not the place to make anyone feel worthless. Not here to make anybody feel embarrassed. If you got questions on how to get started, maybe some technique, some tips, and things like that, that's what we're here for. Here to help with that. If you got questions about life, what it means to be a man, what it means to be a father, husband, or some your own tips, advice that you want to throw in the chat here, all that is this live here. That's the point. If you're a troll and you're here to just screw with people, you'll be in the wrong place. Let's just say that, okay? So if you're one of those, don't even bother. This isn't one where you just drive by, you troll, you run away. If you're going to do that, at least stick around. You already got to say to you. All right, look who we got. We got Sonny, my buddy Sonny. How you doing, man? Says, good morning. Bayaji. Bayaji. I think I said it right. And then we've got, he also says, good morning. Bayaji. I think that it doesn't come out smooth, Sonny. I'm working on it. It feels very like choppy, you know, me trying to say it. I'll get it though. I'll keep practicing. The more you keep saying it, the more I'll keep practicing. So Sonny, kind of cool little fun fact. You, if I remember correctly, are from India, right? Well, Brit King, who was on earlier, also from India. So that makes like, I don't know, the 3rd or 4th person that I know of that's jumped on from India. Now I know we got some following in India because I've seen the statistics, I've seen the analytics. But as far as anyone who's kind of made himself known, I think he was in the 3rd or 4th. So that's kind of cool. I don't know what it is about these lives, but you guys in India are getting them and you're liking them. So that's cool. You guys keep sharing these things, okay? Helps us out as we grow and cross that 1 million viewer threshold and that 1,000 subscriber threshold to try to hit by end of August. EXO, Laura Carolina, that's the wife, that's the L and BNL. She says good morning. Talking to you, Sonny.
So let that be a reminder that even when you're at the top of your game, your health can still sneak up on you. Which is why staying on top of your health requires more than just an annual physical, like heart rate function. They run lab tests twice a year that monitor over 100 biomarkers and look for early signs of thousands of diseases, including mercury poisoning. Screen for 50 types of cancer at stage 1, which is 5 times more data than your annual physical. First of all, you receive insights from a team of expert physicians who provide a detailed report of their observations and phone consultations for any critical findings. So, if you want to stop guessing about tackling your health, if you want to get insight to what's going on inside your body, this is the place to start. Getting these lab tests done when you can help thousands body function is only $500 right now. Get these
You'll be glad you did.
plus waitlist in the description below.
You got it, man. It's just momentary. It doesn't last forever. It's just momentary discomfort. You got to look at me in the eye, son. Okay. I believe you. I'm so proud of you if you do it. You don't believe how proud of you all be. You push through and do it, you play your time. You got this. You do it. Make me proud, baby.
You can find
You'll do it?
inspiration in the music.
You're gonna wake up and go through all that discomfort, you might as well get the run in. All right. Hopefully that's a little clearer screen. Seemed like it was a little foggy. You guys let me know if you can see better now. We got 6 likes. Trying to get to 10 before we cancel this live. I say cancel. Shut down the live, which we're shutting down in about 20, 25 minutes.
I think I know your answer to this one.
So if you're in, you're watching, and you haven't hit the like button yet, help us out, hit the like button.
More what they can control or what they can't control. And then which one do you?
We're here talking about life advice.
I think
Talking about gym advice.
focus on what they can't control.
I'm curious, we got a few of you guys jumping in and out. Tell me about yourself.
Between the two, and working
Are you a
on
dad?
I was gonna say you strive as part of
Your father?
your philosophy,
Guess
right?
it's the same thing.
Focus on what you can
Husband?
control, right? So
Son?
That's part of stoicism.
What stage of life are you in?
So
Where are you
most
from?
people, you're absolutely right. Now, in my seminars, it's different because I got 15, 20
And then are you a
people
serious
asking
lifter, someone who's
questions.
thinking about getting into it?
The vast majority of
Tell
them
me
say
about
they
yourself.
focus on
What
what's
hit the
missing,
set?
but the vast majority of them say they do focus on what they can control. That's why they can. Why would they spend their money and time? They want to take control of their business or their body or their relationship, whatever the case may be. So they have a different belief structure. If you have both those out of whack, you got some real challenges. Most people, there's one out of whack. For the people at home, when I'm asking them to do this for themselves, if they want to, where do you tend to focus more? Your past, your present, your future. We all spend all three, but where do you spend more of your time? Where do you think most people do? Where do you?
I guess most people just not the present, perhaps dreams for the future. For me, I would say mostly in the future as well.
Yeah, and that's where most achievers live. We do. I have to discipline myself not to do that because what makes you an achiever is anticipation.
I see there's a new comment.
A long time.
I'll respond to that in just a
I'm
moment.
listening, I'm watching, you're
Finish the set.
consistent, you're processing, right?
Dopamine's a hell of a drug, yeah.
Yes, it does. And it gives you a sense of control. And then, also, if you don't anticipate, it's like taking a video game against the child. You're a different generation, so you might push the child's ass, I don't know. But my generation, I didn't play any video games. So the child, is your nephew, your niece, or your grandson, granddaughter, or your son or daughter, and you give them, let's say, playing a video game, you give them a video game for Christmas or birthday, let's say, come play with me, Pops. Come play with me, Uncle. Come play. No, I don't do those things. I want to show you it's so easy. Don't do 3 shots, 800, or whatever. So somebody be funny says, I'll show you some bastard something here. Oh, I'm going to do this thing. You're like, fine, give me this thing. You should sit up and get this stuff. So you go, and you're dead in 4 seconds, right? The kid goes, okay.
All right.
You're very done, right?
Let me just write down my my numbers here real quick. People sometimes ask what I'm doing. I guess I'll show you what I'm doing. Got a little whiteboard here. Where I keep track of everything that I've done so far. I program it into an app on my phone afterwards. Because I'm on the live. Can't use the app while I'm using the live. All right. So what we got? We got Rishi. Hey Rishi. Good to see you. Glad you're on. It says keep going with the muscle emoji. Thanks Rishi. Appreciate it. Hit that like button while you're in here if you haven't. We're trying to get to 10 likes before we shut down this live. Help us out. And then Sonny says, I'm busy and making dishes for my guests. Oh, what kind of dishes you making and how many guests you got? Were you able still to keep up with your goals? Did you hit your fitness and diet goals this last day? And then Rishi says, do you have a muscle tear on your left chest? Not a muscle tear. You're probably talking about that dip you can see in my chest. I have an atrophy issue in my chest, Rishi. So you're seeing probably right here. You'll notice that this pec is smaller than this one. It's not a tear. I broke my neck back in November. And when I broke my neck, it crushed the nerve between my C6 and my C7 vertebrae. And it turned off the nerve all the way down to this fingertip, right? That nerve controls the contraction to this pec and to this tricep. And so when that nerve got crushed, I could no longer contract on this pec for a while. And so this pec lost a lot of its size. It just atrophied very, very quickly. And so now I'm starting to get the feeling back. Like you'll notice I can flex the right pec not nearly as strong as I can flex the left pec. And so this one's starting to fire again, so I'm starting to work on it. But what you're seeing there is not a tear, you're seeing a contraction issue. I have the same issue on my right tricep. Rishi says, oh, I'm sorry for that. No, I appreciate that. I am too, you know, I obviously wish that wouldn't have happened, but it is what it is, and now I just got to recover and rebuild. And that's exactly what I'm
First of
doing.
all, 2 years ago, they
Y'all hit the like button while you're here.
and it said,
We're gonna hit another set of this, and then we'll move on to some
sugar
tricep
pills
work.
work as well as SSRIs.
Dancing to music was more effective
That's exactly
by
right.
some huge margin.
Yeah, you run a study.
Yeah.
We're still giving to everybody.
I'm talking
We're only
about
getting
Should be
kids.
salsa classes.
It's just,
possibly impacts.
but it's just, you think of the insanity of that, of us continuing to do what doesn't make any sense. So I think,
You're supposed to.
you know, your question's really focused, getting it back to the focus. I think if we make the right decisions, the first one is what we're gonna focus on, and that's just a habit, you change anything. Take that person, why is that person depressed still? Because all that drug does is numb you. And numbing doesn't deal with the issue. What's the real issue? You're constantly focusing on what's missing versus what you have. You're focused on what you can't control. And there's two worlds, right? The external world, the internal world. We can't control the external world, we can influence it. We can't control it. If you think you're in control, you have a deep illusion. I went to Mexico recently, you and I were talking off the air, I discovered I couldn't even fully control my bowels. It's not something I want to talk about. It's like, all the willpower in the world doesn't mean squat, no pun intended, right? So, it's, what we can control is what's going on inside of us. And that, we control what we focus on. We can control the meaning. We can decide the meaning. We're the meaning makers, and we can decide what to do. And when we make those three decisions, we're in control of our life. And all the anxiety and guilt has to go away, especially if we're trying to do that.
That was a good set. Getting a lot more strength back into my right side, able to help me with my push-ups. I used to be able to do about 60 to 70 push-ups in a row before I really felt fatigued. Now 20 feels like an effort. All right, what do we got? Rishi says, sir, do you have any advice on leg recovery? I just had my first leg day. I can't walk now. Oh, leg days suck. Yeah, drink a lot of water. You may even put a little bit of, what do they call it, pink sea salt. Heard people try that. I've tried it, never really saw a result, but it helps some people. You could try, make sure you're having electrolytes, and then stretch. I know it's uncomfortable, but you'll want to stretch. Do static stretching, which are stretches that you just kind of hold and pull on for a while. But then also do some functional stretching, you know, like warm-ups. If you ever see me at the beginning of my live, I'm always kind of moving joints around, you know, moving hips, moving kneecaps. Do a lot of that. Keep the muscle engaged and moving. That'll help relieve the soreness, but definitely water intake's gonna help you. Sonny says, don't worry, bye. Just take proper rest and don't focus too much on particular exercise. And then we got, see if I can say this name right, Jasvinder Sagu. I don't know if I said that correctly. Jazz loves me. Well, thank you, Jazz. We just met. You're moving awfully fast, but I'm glad you love me. And he said body with smiley faces. I'm gonna assume that's a compliment. I'll take it. Appreciate it. While you're in here, Jazz, hit the like button. We're trying to get to 10 likes before we have to shut this live down here in about 10-15 minutes. And then Rishi, good luck with that. I hope that works. Give it a shot, okay? Let me know. Get back on here over the weekend. Let us know if that works. Sonny says too many Indians in this feed now. I love it. I don't have an issue with it. You guys are cool. You're respectful. So the Americans, my fellow folks who jump in here, like wasting time just insulting people for no reason at all. But so far, I've not had any issues with the guys and girls from India. It's been great.
An awful lot of people get stuck. What do you rely on when it comes to that?
What do I rely on? What do you mean by that?
In terms of the strategy, how is it that you try to tell yourself the best framing, the best perspective, the best meaning that you can?
Oh, I think, you know, when you think about framing, I look at framing as three I call pre-framing, reframing, and deframing. most people are familiar with the reframing. Reframing is you came up with a meaning, and it's not so good, and so now you're gonna change it, or you wanna do it with someone else. You're gonna influence someone, and they have this negative frame, and you're gonna reframe them. That's a lot harder than pre-framing. Pre-framing is, well, I'll tell you a sample story to make it simple. Pre-framing is telling somebody, getting someone to focus on something, knowing in advance what you're going to focus on, and giving it a meaning in advance, before it happens. That's a lot easier than after it's happened. Because after it's happened, you have a meaning locked in to some extent, especially if it's something that's painful, right? So I'll give you a simplistic example. I remember one day I went, and I lived in San Diego, California, and I had an helicopter, and I was flying up to LA, and I love flying. And that morning, I got out, and I had a couple projects to choose from, and I chose this little Corvette I had in those days. And then I had a time, I drive, I fly to LA, I do this TV show, and I know it was so much fun, and you have to go to the airport, and flew back. I was just like in euphoria, in the class, you know. It was actually
Sonny says I did more than 15,000 steps through walking, 110 squats, 54 push-ups, one-hand push-ups, 7, impressive, that's cool. Toe touch walks, and a few other exercises. Toe touch walks. You might have stumped me on that one, Sonny. Can you describe a toe touch walk? We've got 2 more sets to go. Standing band flies and then low to high band flies. We need 2 more likes in order to hit the goal for this live feed, which is we want to hit 10 likes before we have to shut it down. We got about 10 minutes left. We're going to shut it down. So if you're jumping on and you hadn't hit the like button yet, be sure to hit the like button. This is pea protein mixed with orange juice. If you haven't tried it, it's a good little mix. Tastes like a dreamsicle, but not too sweet. There's a comment that came in. I'll respond to that in just a moment. All right, we got Tom. Oh, here we go. I knew I smelled something. It's a troll. Somebody in here that wants to say some dumb stuff. All right, come on, Tom. Come on, say what you want to say. You obviously have nothing better to do with your life other than say dumb stuff in someone's live stream. So come on. All right, here we go. You got my attention. I'm listening. Say all the dumb stuff. Go ahead. Everybody's paying attention to you now, dummy. Come on, Tom. You throw out an insult that I'm pretty sure I heard when I was in like 3rd grade. You look like Trump. Okay? Huh? You like Trump? Oh, you like Trump. What are we doing here, Tom? What's the goal? Okay. Why are you on this thing? You sure to screw with somebody? How about you do this? Go start your own live stream. Say all the dumb stuff you want and find out just how interested or really uninterested people are in what you got to say.
And
Okay,
then the question
get
is,
lost. Stop wasting people's time.
how would you describe the main character of the story? How would you describe it? Well, interestingly, the people who give it hot coffee, 81% said the person was warm and genuine. The people who give it iced coffee said the person was cold and uncaring, and it's the exact same story, the exact same ratios, 81 versus 80%, just to give you an idea. All they did was 15 minutes earlier have something that framed them, as you would say, right? So it happens all the time. It happens, you know, if they did a study where they took IBM and they took Apple and they did a little creativity test for someone, and they did two things. They had them look at the IBM logo and then take the test, or the Apple logo, and then they did their commercials. And a commercial for Apple back in those days, it was seen differently, right? 22% higher score if they looked at either the Apple logo or the commercial on the exact same test, no other criteria than this, to give you an idea. So you can test so many things in this area. So I get up every morning, and my first discipline, you know, I'm not a meditator per se. I don't know anybody good at not having any thoughts. I thought, I want to prime myself, that's my goal. So I do a breathing pattern, like a breath of fire type thing to change my physiology for just 2 minutes. And I do 3 things, and I do it for just 10 minutes.
Oh, if you're jumping on, that must mean something serious.
If you don't have 10 minutes for your life, you don't have life. And I want to prime myself.
All right.
So whenever it comes
Sonny says, because most of Americans are like this guy. Tom's, I wouldn't say most, Sonny. Definitely not most. I would say a majority of people are good people. What's happened with the internet, and we'll look at what this dummy says again. Sonny, what's happened with the internet, here at least in this country, from what I've noticed, it gives people a platform to be able to say stuff they would never say in real life. Like this Tom guy would never in a million years walk up to me on the sidewalk and say what he said. He's a freaking coward. But behind his little phone or his little keyboard, he feels very, very confident to be able to say dumb stuff like this. But I'd love to see guys like this go ahead and start recording themselves walking down the sidewalk, talking to guys like me, or really almost any guy, and watch how that works out for him. But he's safe here. He's safe here. Nobody can see him. He's got a fake handle. He feels comfortable knowing he can say a bunch of dumb stuff, and there's no repercussions. This is unfortunately what a lot of Americans do. And really, Sonny, to answer your question, it's a lot of either actual young boys, you know, like 10, 11, 12-year-old teenagers, or it's grown men who still haven't grown up. It's men who can shave. Guys who are legally adults, but definitely not mentally adults. We got XO Laura Carolina, it's the wife says, unfortunately, there's a lot of people like this Tom's guy. It's a bad look, it really is. He makes us all look bad. I wish he'd go fall off a curb or something. Sonny says, I can't portray the toe touch walk here, but it helps mobility. Okay, I'll have to go look it up. Tom says, master of the world, dislikes America's actions. Okay, come to New Zealand. Okay, why would I go to New Zealand? Sonny says, that means he's an alone person. You're saving me. Shut up, Tom. Never heard of a New Zealand thread. I think I'll be all right. All right, low to high band flies. What we're gonna do now.
Got with me on the road here. 1776, the American made promise. In 1941, we proved that fighting spirit still lives on in the cheap way. The cheap declaration of deals, it's financing.
You know, it's interesting to have old Tom's here from New Zealand talk about how I'm safe in America. So he's literally the one who jumped on some random guy's live behind his keyboard where nobody can see him, no one knows his real name. That's the guy who jumped on here and decides that he wants to start trashing people. Weak behavior. Tom, you're the guy who I live and no one knows who you are or can see you. You're such a tool, man. All right, we're done responding to Tom. We're going to move on. Tom, send what you want. We're not reading anymore.
In Florida, and it literally makes the process of traveling so much more enjoyable, and that is why I partnered with them. The Magic got compartments for everything: your laptop, your shoes, your sunglasses. It's so sleek that the TSA agent might just stop you to admire it. The thing is an absolute Swiss Army knife. It's beautifully designed, it's not over-engineered, and it'll last you literally a lifetime guarantee. So this is the final backpack that you'll ever need to buy. We really should have taken stuff out before I did this. Anyway, you can return or exchange it within 30 days for any reason, so you can buy your new bag, fill it with possessions for an entire month, and if you don't like it, they'll give you your money back. Plus, they ship internationally. Right now, you can get 20% off everything I use and recommend from Nomadic by going to the link in the description below, by heading to Nomadic.
Nothing new other than Tom's rage baiting.
That's Nomadic.
So guys, if you're just out jumping on, appreciate you. Thanks for coming on the live.
We all have beliefs that pre-frame you or not.
Don't forget, hit the like button while you're in here.
It's just that
We're
everything else for a reason.
trying to grow the channel. Of course, every comment, every interaction, every impression, all that kind of stuff helps. Be sure that you subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of August. We're at 559 as of this morning when I last checked. And then we're coming up on almost 1 million views total for the channel, which is cool. Really like that. Share this with folks if you know there's someone who might like it. And then, again, keep the comments coming in the chat. Happy to talk about anything of substance. Keyword being of substance. We're talking gym advice. We're talking life advice. We're not talking dumb stuff.
$6 billion. Means every family has to give up a week's worth of food unless people like you and I showed up. So I called my team and I said, and they said 42 million. I was like, wow, I was thrilled. It wasn't the number I knew. And I said, what if I did that in a year? What if I did as much as I've done my whole life? What if I did $100 million? What if I did $100 million a year for 10 years to give 1 billion meals? And I did it in 8 years. The partnership's and it's like, when you do that, when you produce a result that seems impossible, then what's next is even more available.
All right. All right, so we have, let's see. Old Tom's still throwing a tantrum. Scroll past that. He'll be all right. Like so Laura says, go bother your quote-unquote friends in Florida. Must have been something I missed there. And leave them alone. Tom's, go to someone else's live and talk crap there. All right, yeah, he's annoyed some other people now. Sonny says, ignore the bullies. Yep. Don't talk to him. Bobby G, talk to me. There you go. There you go. Sonny, you're a good dude. There are good dudes in America. I love my country for sure. I don't love what's happening to the men in this country. Bunch of weak bullies. A lot of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them. They're brain rot dead from way too many screens, smoking way too much pot. It's done a number, that's for sure. So it says, I don't like him picking my man. You get real upset. Yeah, she does. She gets angry on a Latino woman.
I said, you're going to get blessed by these things. I'm sure I can find 99 other people somewhere in the world who do this. And when I went to do it, I pre-framed myself as an easy, right? I went to some names. Who's a brilliant philanthropist and a beautiful man who's helping me when I did my billion meal. And he said, well, tell me how much that going to cost. I said, well, it cost me about $100 million over 10 years. You know, you're doing a $100 for 10 years. This guy's worth about $20 billion, and he said to me, that's beyond my template. So I had a reevaluate. Because I kept reframing myself, this is a must, this is not a should, not a reframing.
All right. We got time for just one more set of this tricep work. Again, we're working on the atrophied tricep. After breaking my neck, the nerve got crushed, turned off connection to my chest, turned off connection to my right tricep. So I'm trying to rebuild those back up. We're gonna have time for just one more set of that. And then I gotta go. I gotta get kids to school. I gotta get cleaned up, go to physical therapy for the said injury. And then I gotta get to work too. XO's asking Sonny, what'd you cook for your guests? Yeah, let us know. Is this like a special occasion thing, or you just something you do? It does seem like you're cooking a lot for folks. Could just be a hospitality thing. Maybe you're just very hospitable. I know your family's pretty tight-knit. It's a bunch of different culture there than what we're used to over here in the States. Let's see.
set this up like here.
I need to make it tighter so people can commit the time and come.
Okay.
I figured out how I'm gonna add even more value. I'm gonna make this even more useful. So I did. And there's one woman who was great too. She started attacking me and called my office.
Looks like we're gonna get
Said, I want my
one like short before we end this live. Wanted to get to 10 before we end the live stream.
team's all freaked
So if you're jumping on, you hadn't hit the like button yet,
I said, fire.
be sure you do that. Help us out.
I said, fire.
Hit our number 10.
I said, you call her. This is not a good event. She knows how incredible things are. She wouldn't have come to this 14-day event, 12-day event. I said, if
I'm
she's
experiencing right now is
not happy with her money back, you know, money back guarantee,
a connection in my right tricep.
money back. I say, why do
It
you
gives out very, very quick after my injury.
You never come to an event again? Because you're no longer one of our customers, because you know that.
That's
You
it.
know that.
That's it. I have to work on this some more, but I gotta go. Guys, thank you for jumping on. Appreciate it. If you didn't hit the like button, hit that on your way out. If you haven't subscribed, definitely become a subscriber. Again, trying to get to 1,000 before the end of August. So it's kind of our end of summer goal. If you enjoyed the content, I am going to post the replay here shortly afterwards. After posting the replay, if you want to share it with someone you think might like it, go ahead. Feel free to check our channel out, though. We got a lot of good stuff there. We got stuff related to our family, related to fitness, some of it serious, some of it motivational, some of it funny, most of it funny. We got dad rants where I just go on and rant about different things. Oh, there's 10 likes. Good. Perfect. Hit the goal. We'll go in there. We talk about all kinds of different things. So I hope you enjoy the channel. Hit the notification bell. Subscribe to it. All the good stuff. We'll be doing some lives over the weekend. However, those lives, per the usual, are not going to be as predictable. Monday through Friday, we do these at 5 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's what time it is here in Fort Worth, Texas. 5 a.m. Central Standard Time. Weekend, it's more whenever we just can find the time because we got a lot going on with all the kids we got. But hope to see you this weekend. If I don't see you this weekend, I'll see you during the week again. Take care, everyone.